Hey guys, I am at the hackerspace right now at Revspace, and I just kind of finished a super fun project, honestly. So what you're seeing here is a dot matrix display, 80 by 32 pixels, monochrome, and it's Wi-Fi connected. So it is currently connected to a Mosquito server, MQTT server, and getting various sensor data from around the hackerspace. We have many MQTT sensors. For instance, let's see, there's temperature sensors. Yeah, that's AC stuff. CO2 sensor, humidity sensor. Now, what made this project so fun is not necessarily the project itself, because, I mean, people have been making dot matrix displays forever. And let me just put this down. See, what's fun about this is that these dot matrix displays, not necessarily these 8x8 modules, but the full panels that you can see here. So there are 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These panels are from HTM, which is the local public transport company in The Hague, from very old digital signage that they used for their bus stops and tram stops. And I bought 2 of these panels 7 years ago. And 3 of the other panels were donated to me for this project by other people at the hackerspace. But that's not all. These panels are actually one of the very first electronic projects that I did for myself back in the day, back when I was starting on working with AVR microcontrollers and doing like real electronics. I was messing with this in 2009, I think. A good 8 years later, I've been able to make like a proper project with it. Now these panels, not sure if it's too obvious. They use 4000 series logic and lots of MOSFETs here. And what you might be able to see, and if it's not obvious, then well, don't worry about it. These panels are not image retaining. There is no big chip on here with memory that remembers which state each of the pixels is in. So actually, it's all just shift registers, and at one time you can only have one. You can only have one line like this showing image data. So I'm exploiting human persistence of vision to I think I'm scanning this around 200 times per second now with my latest firmware to make what looks like a decently solid image. Now, being that this is a hackerspace project and I'm trying to make this decently maintainable for other people, I haven't really made my own PCB. I just wired stuff up. There's a little prototype board here, lots of wires on the other side, and I put on like an ESP8266 board and an Arduino Nano, although I really don't like the Arduino IDE, so use that Mel Studio and just programmed straight C on here. And the reason why I use both of these together instead of, well, just the ESP8266, because remember, these chips, they don't just do Wi-Fi. They have a very powerful microcontroller built in. Well, the reason, kind of obviously, is that these screens have to be updated 200 times per second. It's 80 by 32 pixels, so that's 320 bytes that have to be clocked out in a specific pattern. Like, this is not a standard SPI bus or anything. This is you kind of have to bit bang it. It gets very fast for a non-real-time microcontroller like what's in here. So I kind of had to use a microcontroller separately to do that. So this is handling that. And then there is a, these just communicate with each other over the serial connection, and this header right here, pretty hard to see on video. You can plug in a little USB to serial board and look at the data or reprogram the ESP8266. The microcontroller is reprogrammed via this ISP connector. Now, a little bit of a downside of these panels is that each of them uses about 10 watts if they're at full brightness and full every pixel is on. So need kind of a lot of power, and I was going to use just an open frame power supply, but for I guess no good reason, I decided to parallel up 12 TP-Link 5-volt 1 amp power supplies. I just wanted to do this for some reason. This is what happens at a hackerspace. So there's a 230 volt. This is the primary side. This is the secondary side, and at the bottom of this little box, there are 2 wires that run as bus bars that supply 230 volts. And then on this side, you can see there's the ground and the 5-volt output. That output to this wire that goes to the power connections on each of the panels. Now, the mechanical construction is made to be mostly water resistant. I cannot really claim it's watertight. It uses these 4x4 centimeter profile bars that we had just lying around at the hackerspace. And there's a polycarbonate window that the displays are pressed against with these aluminum strips. They're just screwed in place. Fairly simple construction. There's going to be like a polycarbonate box on this side, and then it will be pretty much rain resistant. So this is made to be put outside, and if you ever visit the hackerspace, you'll be able to see this display. Well, I hope you enjoyed this quick look at another Revspace project. I'll be leaving links to this and to the hackerspace in the description.